It's the most frequently asked question when I'm day trading the Micro Eminis. How much money should I be risking? Welcome to the channel. You found affordable day trading. I'm Don Singletary. We'll have the featured trade of the week, and we'll be talking about some of the finer points of risk. I have some thoughts, information, and a couple of rules of thumb to share with you so you can determine how much risk is appropriate for you, partner. Well, I put on the cowboy hat because I want to tell you, maybe if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and losing your money, well, just maybe that's the problem. The trend is your friend, and the risk is not. Now, today I have some notes on midday trading strategy. Most traders are aware the first hour and a half and then the last hour of the trading day are normally the best times to trade. The volume is high and the volatility is high, which means more risk, but also more opportunities for profit. Just a quick reminder, you should be aware of the news cycle and know if there are any important events that may happen during those midday hours. Earlier in the morning trading hours, the market had been going up and down, just fluctuating within a range. But then, as you can see on the chart, around 1:30 till about 2:20, which is where I'm going to enter this trade, the trend up there has been down. In the bottom window of the screen, we have the MACD trade signal indicator. You can see the red and green lines for hours now have not been down below the zero line. Now, often it's considered a signal that we're going to change direction, but we can see for the last couple of hours, prices have been going down. The green line is below the red line, and it looks as though they're heading below the zero line, which would favor our trade because we're going to short a contract. Now, I want to caution beginners here because we're always looking for something that's a sure shot, like counting on those lines to move in that direction means money. But that isn't necessarily true. It's just an indicator. It's not a fact. Trade signal indicators are like a weather report. They're helpful and they're right until they're not. For those new to the channel and beginners, I just want to say at this particular point, it seems like there's so many things you have to be conscious of at one time. It's like the first time you tried to drive the car. You had to feel like you could do 10 things at once, and it takes a while to get on the learning curve. Now, I'm using the Tasty Trade desktop platform here. And the thing I like about it is, the reason I chose it and the reason I use it in all the trades on the channel is everything about the trade's always on one screen. Tasty Trade calls it the see it, click it, trade it method. And that's true. Remember, you're trying to learn how to sit on your bottom, click a mouse, and make money. It's going to take a little work. Full disclosure here, I am a Tasty Trade affiliate. I make a nominal amount when you click my link, which is in the text in the description below the video. And I really need your help on that. It helps support the channel. Thank you. And that is why all the content here on the channel is provided free. The Tasty Trade referrals and my book are the sole support here for the channel. It's a short book and gets right to the point, and I've had good feedback on it because what I was trying to do with the book is to make sure it's easy for you to know what's important and what isn't. That helps. Over 25,000 people have used the book to help to learn to trade the Micro Eminis. Very grateful. The book has over 550 five-star reviews. Check it out at Amazon.com. And thank you. Okay, it's time to go to the live screen now, but I do have one more thing to show you. This little extra detail doesn't make or break the trade, but it is helpful. It encourages me to think that I may not have to risk very much money at all to place this trade. It seems there's some price resistance right there in those three candlesticks inside the purple circle. And of course, the candlesticks are 5 minutes wide. So for the last 10 or 15 minutes, more sellers than buyers at that price point. Now, if you're new to the channel, I want to get you orientated to the screen positions here I use in my trade setup. It's pretty simple, really. Now, the orange circles on the screen are the two places you're going to find the live quote, the trading price. The yellow highlighted area, 5-minute candlesticks chart. And the lower pane highlighted in green is our MACD, our trade signal indicator. And this on the left side of your screen, I'll zoom in here and explain it. It's called the bracket OCO. The fast and accurate way to enter a trade, the bracket OCO. Now, you're going to have three prices in your head when you enter a trade. You should. The entry price, the stop loss price, and the target price. Now, the market doesn't care where you put the target price, but the stop loss, very important. And the nice thing about it is it has a built-in calculator. You put in the numerical quote, and it'll automatically compute the dollar amount for you. That makes it easy so you can keep your mind where it should be. And over on the right there, you see there's an OR gate here, stop or target. Now, only one of those two prices are going to be hit. Either you'll get stopped out or you'll reach the target. And whichever one does not execute has to be deleted. Well, the bracket OCO does that automatically for you. Okay, trade on. This is the live screen now. I just hit the send button. I'm taking my mouse cursor and moving it over to the right margin, and I can then click and slide that up to adjust my scaling on the candlestick charts there and get it just where I want it. And I'm going to show you now where I put the stop loss. Now, the rule of thumb on the amount of a stop loss would be risk no more than 1% of your account value on any one trade. When I'm trading the NASDAQ100 Micro Emini, as I am now, $2 a point, I put my stop up about $20. That's 10 points up, of course. As you see in the orange circle up at the top, the market's trading about 18,609 right now. So I take my tasty trade mouse and I move that stop loss down a little bit. A lot of people think you put a stop loss, you leave it there for the whole trade, but that's crazy. You got a chance to lock in profits, and even if the trade ultimately doesn't win, you can still reduce the amount that you decide to risk on the trade. Like right now, the risk is only $3.50. I've moved that stop loss down 3 times now inside of the first minute during the trade. It's a great tool. You should learn to use it. It'll save you money. I just moved the target price up so I can keep it on the screen. I went over to the right margin there and bringing my scale on the chart up so we can see everything that's going on. And we're only risking $3.50 now, and we're trading all the way down at 15,601. It's a new high on the trade. We're up about $31.50 right now. $19 of that is locked in by my stop loss, as you can see. Good news for you beginners. It seems everything's happening pretty fast right now. You can always rewind 15 seconds so you can keep up here on it. But it's actually, this is a typical trade. It's nothing extraordinary. But remember, as you practice, especially through trade simulation, you get a lot faster at computing these numbers. $2 a point is not like high-level math or anything. Wait a minute, stop the car. Now, I just paused the video because I want to talk to you about something that did not happen on the screen. It happened between my ears. And we've been talking about a 2-minute trade now for the last 8 minutes. This stuff does really happen between your ears. Here's what we know right now. I have locked in a profit of $22.50. No matter what, my stop loss order is going to guarantee that I make that much. And that's nice. Now, the amount of unrealized gain you have in the trade is at this moment with a freeze frame. How many dollars are we up in the trade? It's called unrealized gain because we haven't taken the profit yet by entering a closing order for the trade. So therefore, unrealized gains. We're ahead by 14 3/4 points, which means we're up $29.50 of unrealized gain. Now, I always have contention with that term, unrealized gain. In this kind of trading, that $29.50 is one mouse click away from being in my account. My actual dollar risk on the trade at this particular moment is $7. That's it. The point here is the stop loss order controls the amount of risk on the trade. I'm still on the freeze frame here because I want to show you how every trader is going to do differently. If I gave the same instructions to 20 traders, the odds of them coming up with exactly the same decisions at the same time are thousands to 1. This is why you can't find a formula that's going to fit all traders, because you have to make all kinds of decisions during the trade. The 4 or 5 times I've moved the stop order here, the price, my entry price, the amount of my stop, all those things come together, and every trader is different. They have different risk tolerances, and perhaps more importantly, if you're a beginner, you'll be glad to hear this. Beginners don't have yet the experience to be able to make the best decisions, and that's why we practice trade. And that's why you watch these videos. And they can help you develop your own version of making these decisions that's going to work for you. Now, if you're a rote beginner, you've got to reach a decision point like the one that's on the screen for me now. We're trading 18,602, so I'm 3.5 points. That's $7 away from being stopped out. And you know, where these prices move, that could happen in 5 seconds. And what do I have to do right now? I am forced to make a decision before I have all the facts. And you're going to have to do it too. Every trader in this kind of trading is going to have to do that. Expect it, because it's coming. Now, you don't know what's going to happen next. And right now, neither do I. I mean, I know because I recorded the trade earlier. But this is the time in this trade where the trader, happened to be me this time, has to make a decision before I have all the facts. And if you don't expect that, you're going to panic when you get into trades. All the more reason to practice trade. And the mechanics of a trade, where you put the mouse and click and do all those things, you should practice that so much it becomes second nature, because your important business in this trade is right now deciding whether you're going to continue it. You can take the $29, you can risk the 7 and see what happens next, which is the decision that I made. But you have to prepare yourself for the time in the trade, and it's coming, and every single trade when you make a decision without all the facts. Now, is that fun? If you're making money, definitely maybe. Now back to the live screen. We'll find out what happens next. And the answer is not very much. We're going to get stopped out there. 18,605.5. That gives us a profit, count the money, CTM of $22.50, just under 2 minutes, with no drawdown. Don't touch that dial, because I'm going to go back and look at the chart after the trade is over. I'm going to second guess myself. I'm going to bring up the genius of hindsight, the completed chart after the trade, and we'll talk about that. I need your help on something. Hit the like button if you want to see another video like or similar to this one. I tally those. It helps me choose which material to put on the channel here so I can help you more, I hope. And thanks for your help. I appreciate that. Okay, just keep one figure in your head. I bought that contract back, closed the trade at 18,605.5. Remember that number, 18,605.5. Let's go to the post-trade chart right now. Well, you remember the trade only lasted for 2 minutes, so it all happened inside of one red candlestick right there. Now, I entered the trade at 220 at 18,616.75. That's the blue on the left. I got out of the trade at 18,605.5 with a $22.50 profit. 2 minutes later, at the time was 222. And now look, one candlestick later, that's 5 minutes, at the time was 227. The market was back up to 18,624. I've been doing this a long time. And when I was a beginner, and even after that, I'll admit, I would back that stuff up out of the way and say, oh boy, I'm going to make a lot of money on this trade. I'd wind up losing money, number one, because I moved my stop order, and number two, because I was inexperienced enough to believe that I could guess what was going to happen next. But that is not the nature of this type of trading. So what you saw me do in this trade today, that's what you got to do. The goal of this channel is to help you get started without blowing up your account. Okay, now I know plenty of experienced traders who'll put a $50 or $100 stop on a trade like this. And they have their system worked out. It works for them. But they've been doing this a long time. And they probably know a few tricks that beginners don't. So I'm going to try to keep you between the ditches here on the channel. And I usually trade with one contract trades, so we can keep the amount of money we're using here lower and give you a chance to get some experience before you lose your money. Once you get the basics, the fundamentals down of this kind of trading, and you learn that you do have to make decisions before you have all the facts, it's a little counterintuitive, and it's not easy to learn for most people. So when you make your $22.50 and you get confident with that, you can move up to $45 and then $90 with 4 contracts and so on. And you'll be doing exactly the same kind of trading and the same percentage stops that you see in the smaller trades here on the channel. Things two things that are enormous in successfully learning to trade this way. You got to have a little fun along the way, and you don't want to blow up your account or you won't last. And you have to keep those expectations real. You don't start diving off the high board before you learn to swim, and it's as easy as that. But most people have a really hard time trying to remember that. So I'm rooting for you. Be sure and check out the book if you haven't seen it yet. And remember, the tasty trade links are in the description text below the video. And it's been a great trade today. I'll see you next time. And remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and you'll be notified when we put new videos up. I'm Don Singletary. I hope every day is a payday for you. And thank you.